Hey, what's up? Tyler here. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the power of cellular memory. Now, before I started as a coach, I was training to become a Thai yoga therapist. And as a Thai therapist, what we would do is we would lay people down. So you get on a mat like this or something. It was a little more comfier than this. And then you'd be put in over 850 or so different positions. So I learned northern style and southern style. And what I found was as you go through these positions, certain emotions start to come up. And it was fascinating. So someone had a car wreck that I was working on, and they were driving. And what happened is, so as soon as they hit, whatever it was in front of them, their body locks up in a certain position. So whiplash, right? So it's going forward, boom. And your body remembers things in the position that it's in. So as she's going through life and she tries to move her neck, all of a sudden it recreates pain. And she didn't know that she was just putting herself through the trauma over and over and over and recreating this trapped memory, not just from the brain, but in all parts of her muscles. And it had this muscle memory. So it was very difficult as she was trying to move forward in life. This muscle memory was holding on and resisting change. So back then, I would literally put all these different positions, right? And then the emotion would come up. So tears and anger and frustration and hatred and rage, all this stuff. And back then I did a lot of EFT, tapping through it and getting to root causes, which is awesome, but it also can take a long time. Well, the whole point that I want to share with you is that muscles and cells have memory. So much so that they did studies, and there's a whole book on this. You can go do some research, that there was a lady, a girl who she had a heart transplant. And it was crazy how this worked and a little kind of creepy, and she got this heart transplant and all of a sudden started to have these vivid dreams and memories come up. And it was about this person who killed her. And she kept seeing and hearing seeing what he was wearing, and even so much to the name and everything. And all this stuff kept coming up, and she had no connection to this whatsoever. So they did some research and found that the donor was another girl who was murdered. And the heart transplant worked and everything. And so what happened is the heart contained memories. And as it was removed and transplanted, the girl who received the recipient was able to identify the murderer, and they actually found him and caught him and incarcerated him. And I thought, holy cow. And there's story after story, over 100 different stories of people who had transplants had these new desires, right? If your body didn't contain its own memory, then how could these phenomena happen? How could you describe it? You can't. So the description, the answer is very simple, is that every single organ, gland, cell in your body contains its own unique memory. And why does that matter? Because if in your body that memory is fighting what you want or allergic to what you don't want, then you will take years longer to go attain your goal. But if you can know that, okay, muscles, cells, organs, glands, everything has memory in it. And as I get out of just thinking about mind and think about body, that every single thing in my body has its own mind, essentially. And that if I can get all the minds working together for me, now I don't have to fight myself all the time. Have you ever had some goal that you're working toward and then you self-sabotage? Meaning you procrastinate, you take way longer, you go to make a deal and you don't say the right things, you get nervous or you forget something? Well, that's not just a mental thing. That's a physiological bodily response. So if part of your body is addicted to struggle and an opportunity to succeed and create ease comes your way, your body will literally fight that opportunity, get you away from it, because it represents something that is painful, something that is not normal. If your body is addicted to struggle or pain, then it's going to keep recreating that over and over. So the goal is first to acknowledge this and know that, wow, if everything in my body has memory, wow, what if I just thought that way from now on? Okay, if I'm going to eat this food, cool, all my parts of my body are actually going to respond to it, not just my digestive system. Oh, cool, well, this money goal, okay, it's more than just thinking it and willing it and working hard at it. But What if I could believe and get my whole being on board with that idea instead of feeling like it's a foreign thing, that I could choose it at full cause? This becomes exciting when you can see life like this. Now you know, oh, next time I'm disconnected with my spouse or my kids, ooh, what did I say or do? And why did I say or do that thing? Maybe I said and did it not just because of my logic, but because of some physiological response to something they did. If I can change those responses, first acknowledge them, second change them, then now I can treat my family how I choose to, not how my body thinks that it has to be based on past situations, right? You getting the power of this? So this is so powerful that, like, when I used to be stuck at certain income levels and like I couldn't even make $10,000 in a month, or let alone barely in a year, that my body had become so addicted to just thinking that that was safe. That was all I could do. That was my potential. And then as I started to open up, the next year we went to over 6 figures, and the next year we more than doubled that. And then we continued to grow and grow and grow. But more importantly, it's not just attaining the goal, but attaining the goal while balancing all other areas in your life. Because sure, you could put in a lot of hard work and effort and go pretty much attain anything. You just put the focus in there and go for it, you could do it. The problem with that, though, is if your body's memory is not fully on board with what you're going for, then another area in your life will fall off. So I've seen people go for a money goal and then lose their relationship. They go through divorce after divorce after divorce. Or they go for a good relationship and then they neglect making money and having a business. Or they do both and then their health starts to go down the hole, right? These aren't just random things that happen. It's because of the memory in your body that is causing it. So we need to acknowledge that and see it, because if we can see it, then we can change it. But if you can't see it, if you don't understand it, then you can't change it. So the key here, number one, that your body, every single part of your body has its own unique memory. And that memory makes a huge difference on whether you attain something or not. And yes, essentially it is your choice, but the problem is that you've given your choice up to the reactions of the past, and it's in your body. So you're making tons of choices all the time. So many of them are not conscious, and many of them your body is just choosing on autopilot. But the key is to say, okay, what if I could take back my life, take back my reactions, and start to see things as I want to see them? Start to create as I want to create, not based on my past reactions or perceptions, but based on a new creation and a new reality of who I want to be. Yes? Cool. All right. Think about what I just said. If you want to hang out with me more, like, subscribe, and also you can check the link, and there should be some descriptions, some other videos you can connect to. And I just want to thank you for who you are. Thank you for being an unstoppablepreneur, for focusing and balancing, creating that lifestyle, and recognizing that success is beyond the mindset, and it's into every single cell and organ and gland, and that has memory, and you can change it. So thanks for being here. Again, and I didn't talk about how to change it essentially, but recognition is the first step. Change happens through reconnection. Reconnection happens through 4 different things. And those 4 different things can be found in a lot of tools and techniques. I teach one called the Abundance Alignment Technique. And if you want to learn more about that, you can check it out in the description. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video.